good evening to one and all, since it is evening in India now. This is Trina Bose. I'll be presenting this paper. This is actually a joint paper written with my supervisor, but I'll be presenting this paper here. And the title of our presentation of the paper is Climate Crisis, Human Resilience and Adaptation, a Postcolonial Ecocritical Analysis of Sorayya Khan's Noor. Here I have briefly summarized in our paper, and this is the outline of our presentation. The introduction of this paper specifically focuses on global climate change, how it arises from the Anthropocene and Capitalocene, and this is one of the key phenomena that is considered as one of the most serious crises of the contemporary epoch, since it threatens the very existence of all living beings on Earth and also the planet itself. As I quote Adeline Jones-Butler, as she puts it, the very concept of the Anthropocene as a geological time period is a reminder that human agency has assumed non-human proportions. So, climate change causes global temperature rise, sea level rise, scarcity of natural resources, extreme weather events, insecurity of food, deterioration of health, species extinction, to name a few. And the text that is under discussion, Sorayya Khan's debut novel, Noor, it depicts the climate-induced Bhola cyclone of 1970s that utterly changed the social and ecological scenarios of East and West Pakistan, which are known as Bangladesh and Pakistan in the contemporary era respectively. And this paper specifically underlines, it focuses on human-induced climate change and its repercussions, maybe it's social or ecological, political, economic, as well as human resilience and adaptation. So this section specifically highlights how the novel, which is set in modern-day Islamabad in Pakistan, it depicts an extraordinary child, the titular character Noor, who enables her mother Sajida and her grandfather Ali to confront their memories of the cyclone and the following war of 1971 that they have deliberately suppressed. And the novel can be regarded as a novel of such suppressed or silenced memories of devastations. And this Noor, the pictures that Noor, the character, this extraordinary child, the Noor draws, those pictures are about uprooted trees, shattered boats, unrelenting monsoon rains, and the sea full of fish boats, and many other horrific visions of the cyclone of 1970s. The Bhola cyclone, which she never witnesses herself. These are some of the pictures that have been incorporated here of the Bhola cyclone and its devastations. So now this section highlights, throws light on how ecological apocalypse leads to social apocalypse or dystopia. And Noor's artwork, Noor's the titular character, the child, her artworks help her mother and her grandfather not only to call up the devastations that they witnessed during the cyclone, but also the consequences and the what happened after or during the war of 1971 between East and West Pakistan, and that eventually created the independent country of Bangladesh. A close reading of the text points out that the author seems to suggest that society needs to unearth private and public memories related to a war that open up new identity issues, and developing critical narratives that of what occurred in 1971 during the war would allow new ways of thinking about national identity. And Noor and her pictures, especially her pictures, detail the atrocities too unimaginable and inhuman committed in the name of nationalism during the war, and such acts like senseless killing of millions, especially people of East Pakistan, which is now known as Bangladesh, senseless killing of millions the rivers red with blood, and the bloated dead bodies with tied hands floating like paper boats down the river, and many other acts of human barbarism committed in the time of war in the name of nationalism. Next part, this section deals with human resilience and adaptation. It underlines, this section specifically underlines how the utterly affected yet resilient people of East Pakistan or Bangladesh, they cross national body to survive elsewhere, even though like refugees. Their migration can be regarded as one of their means of adapting to the changing socio-political as well as ecological circumstances in the post-cyclone or post-war time. The characters like Sajida and her Sajida and her adopted, father, Ali in this novel, as the narrative informs, who deliberately tried to bury their horrible memories or visions or that they witnessed in the past, can be interpreted as if they are trying to adapt to the present, or they are coming to terms with the present that they are living now in Pakistan. And this can also be interpreted as their means of adaptation or adapting to the changing life or to a new life that they have in a new country. And such this collective or personal memories, collective as well as personal memories of trauma, violence, devastations, displacements, and so on. Such memories seem or remain alive since these memories are transmitted from one generation to the other, sometimes by means of storytelling. And in this novel, as we can see, it happens miraculously. And such memories are transmitted from Sajida to her special child miraculously without any medium of storytelling or any other book reading or any such mediums. Those are not there. So as if this is a miracle, it is through Noor's artworks, those memories are alive again. And to conclude, I must point out how the people of developing countries or islanders, or specifically as this is a post-colonial reading, post-colonial study, the people of global South, they are the worst sufferers of the consequences of anthropogenically induced global climate crisis and its consequences or detrimental impacts like the rise in the number of extreme weather events and their intensity. As we witnessed in this novel, for example, the case what happened during 1970s and the Bula cyclone is there. But apart from that, in present also, we can perceive many cyclones in this area, in this the countries like India and other parts. These cyclones are perceivable in the coastal areas. So these are, at present we can feel this, and this text from this particular instance of a cyclone that had already taken place in the past, it hints, or as if it suggests that it gives a clue that it might happen or it will surely happen in the present and also in the near future or in the future, since this Anthropocene and capitalism and their impacts and the global temperature rise, all these are rapidly increasing, and the possibility of such cyclones are likely to be more. So that's why this novel can also be interpreted or analyzed as a cautionary tale, as if this novel is warning the readers through these horrific portrayals, horrific visions of the pernicious impacts of human-induced climate change. And that's why this novel can be, as we read this novel, as if this novel is spreading environmental consciousness or ecological awareness to the readers, so that this process of Anthropocene and capitalism may reduce, even though to a limited extent, but such ecological awareness, such texts like this might help in spreading awareness. to a large extent among the readers. So these are my references. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me.